Hello and welcome to Life with Jane. It's Foodie Friday and today I'm doing a delicious chicken recipe. It's a chicken crispy. If you remember a little while ago I bought a yellow stickered Gusto and this was part of the recipe. So 2 chicken breasts, it will feed 2 people, or if it's like me it will be, it'll last 2, if not 3 days. So what I need to do is I'm putting the chicken breasts just in on some kitchen paper and I'm just going to pat them because we want them quite dry. Okay, so I'm just patting the excess moisture off them so they're nice and dry. Then that can go in on the bin. My little dog's coming round because she's like, oh, chicken, no, it's not for you. Right, okay, so then we need to, and I tend to use scissors for this, you want to chop them into bite-sized pieces. So they don't need to be too big or small. But from one chicken breast, I prefer smaller than larger. So I'm just cutting them into strips to start off with. Reasonable sizes, but not huge. You can do them in whatever size you want, but I like them to be not too big. A, they don't take as long to cook, and B, they last longer, so I can have them for 2 or 3. So I'm going to cut that into half like that. This one can come into probably 3 actually. So 1, 2, in fact 4 on that one. That one can be 2. That one can be 2. Because as I say, I prefer to have more rather than less, so just cutting it into chunks like that. Take the other one, I'm just going to cut that straight down the middle. And then we can cut it down through into pieces like this. So you want, say, bite-sized pieces, but if you make them smaller they will go further. So if you think of this, you know, we're getting quite a reasonable amount here. That would definitely do me for 3 meals, so I can have 2 and put 1 in the freezer because I like to have things in the freezer. So that's, if you think about that, and I take that into 3 like that, that would make, if I divide it evenly, it would make 3 reasonable sized meals. So I'm just going to wash my hands for a second. Make sure my hands are clean. So that's the chicken. Now into a bowl we need to put a tablespoon of self-raising flour. So self-raising flour or any all-purpose flour that you have, and we just want a spoonful. If you've got plain flour you can use plain flour, but I'm literally just putting 1 spoonful in there like that. Then we need to put a spoonful of cornflour or cornstarch. So cornstarch depending where you are, cornflour in the UK. So we need to put a tablespoon of cornstarch. So just get that out and put that in. Okay, then we just need to mix that up a little bit. And then you just want to add some salt and some pepper to it. So as you know, with me, I like my garlic pepper, which is that, just garlic pepper, because I think it gives a nice flavour. So just a little bit on there, I suppose, a shake. You don't want a huge amount, but you want enough to give it just a little bit of flavour. Mix that up. And then you want some salt. So let me just grab my salt. Okay, so just again about 1/4 teaspoonful of salt, and then you just need to mix that up. Okay, now we are going to, and you can do it one of two ways. I'm going to do it this way because it's easier to do it, and you can see it. So you are going to coat the whole of the chicken in the flour. So let me just get all of this off. And because you're using the cornstarch as well as the flour, what that does is that when you cook it, it gets it really crispy. So we're just literally going to put that in there, and you can see there's plenty because you want it to be well coated. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side now. Take my chopping board off of my cooker because I'm putting that there so I don't have to change things around a bit. Then I can put this, which is my cooker, right in on the middle, which is good, so that goes. I'm just going to turn it on, and let's put that there. Yes, you can see that. So I'm going to turn that on reasonably high because you want it to allow it to get hot. Let me just wipe my hands again. Dry my hands off. I've got it all over the handle. Okay, so while that pan's heating up, you want to put some oil in there. Now, I always put olive oil, as you know, and you want a reasonable slug. So a good few tablespoons. You can see it's covering the bottom, but I don't need to have a huge amount on. Sorry, I'm just turning. I've got some potatoes and other things on for tea for tonight. So I just need to turn that down a bit, and I need to turn that down a bit because they're boiling away, which is good. Okay, so you can see it just covers the bottom of the pan. And what you want to do is you want to allow it to get quite hot because we want it to cook the chicken, but we also want it to, I'm just putting my bits away as I'm talking to you, we want it to make the chicken nice and crispy. So I think it is, has it got hot enough yet? It's getting a little bit hot, isn't it? Okay, so we're just going to literally put the chicken in there, and you want it to sort of sizzle quite reasonably. So I can just pop that in. And you need to make sure that it's cooked well on both sides. So I'm literally just putting, and you can see 2 chicken breasts will do, you know, if you're on a tight budget, you could quite easily do a family of 4 with this. If you cut them in even smaller pieces, you just do a bit of a shake up. Whoops, sorry, I banged the camera with my head. I've got it low so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm literally just going to pop this all in. And then it will take (10 to 15 minutes probably. A good 10 minutes. You want it to be crispy and brown, but you also want it to be cooked completely through because it's chicken. So I'm going to just leave that there just for a minute so that you can see how it's starting to cook. Just allow it to sort of cook right the way through, and then I will come back when it is cooked. So 10 minutes on one side, turn it over, probably 10-15 minutes, the whole thing. I'm going to wait until I've got one side done, then I can show you when I turn it over. So I'm going to use just a couple of, you can see the piece in the middle here is starting to go quite nicely. And once it's started, so if I look at this one, see if it's probably not got brown enough actually, but you can see it's starting to get crispy. You need to leave it, as I say, until it starts to go golden brown on one side, turn it over, and then golden brown on the other. And then I will come back because we then need to make a sauce to go in on top of it. So I'll be back shortly. Well, we're back after 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's now beautifully crispy. So all of the chicken is lovely and crispy, and that's exactly what we want. Beautifully cooked, nice and golden brown, and you've still got some of the residue of the flour in there, which we will need when we start doing the sauce. So I'm just going to turn this off just for a second because I want to know, I'm going to have to do it over the top of it so you can see. So in a bowl we are going to put a tablespoon of ketchup. Now I'm using this cranberry ketchup which I got, which I've been telling you about. You can see how much I've used. I love it. A tablespoon of honey and a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Okay, so I'm going to do this off camera so I can just do the measurements. So I'm doing a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Then I'm going to do, sorry, there's somebody obviously walking their dog past the front of the house. Then I'm going to do a tablespoon of honey. Use just another spoon. I'm going to put this one in here. So it's sort of equal quantities of honey, ketchup and white wine vinegar. So I'm just putting a spoonful of that in, and then I can have a slug of my ketchup. As I say, you're just looking at the right, once I've got it in I can show you. So I've just put that in there, and what you're going to do is you're going to mix it up well so it gives just a sort of glaze. Now you can get, I haven't because I just couldn't get any, you can get some sesame seeds and pour them in as well, which will give a little bit of extra coating, but I'm not going to worry about that. So this is going to sizzle a bit, but you just want to pour it over the top. Can you hear it sizzling? So you pour that in over the sauce, over the chicken, and then you're just going to literally cook it round on a reasonably high heat. And can you see how it is automatically thickening it while still staying crispy, because you're not going to have it in for that long. So you literally just stir it round. You can see how it's getting thicker and thicker, and it will still stay crispy. This is where you would put in some sesame seeds if you've got them, but again, sesame seeds are an extra. You don't really need it for the recipe. Most of the other things you would have in your store cupboard. Maybe, yeah, most people will have honey, Lots of people will have white wine vinegar. So just going to leave that just for a second to just cook in nicely. Can you see how all of that sauce has been absorbed and is now across the top of the chicken, making it a lovely sticky chicken? And then all we need to do is to put that out on a plate. Let me get another plate. Original plate is full of flour. Right, okay, so that's enough. I can turn that off now, and then I can just put that in onto a plate, and then I will show you. So I'm just going to tip this in onto a plate, and this, as I say, it will serve, depending how much chicken you like. I mean, normally they say a breast of chicken each, so it would serve 2 people. But to be quite honest, I think that it could easily serve 3 if you wanted to. I'm just going to get the stickiness of the spatula, and then I will show you the finished product. And this is going to be, half is going to be for my tea tonight and the other half tomorrow, but that is what it looks like. So you've got lovely crispy chicken in this gorgeous lovely sticky glaze. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.